What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at some Jakks Pacific Simpsons figures. Let's see what we've got going on. Let's check them out. As promised, today we're going to be taking a look at The Simpsons. So here we go. Alright, so we're working our way through some Jakks Pacific Simpsons figures, right? So I've got Homer, Otto, Groundskeeper Willie, and Bart here. We'll take a look at each of these. These are the 4-inch, 5-inch scale figures for Jakks, right? They've got the 2.5-inch scale figures as well. A newer line that's coming out. You know, we lost Super 7 for The Simpsons. We're getting these. They kind of pick up where an older line left off. This is my first foray into collecting Simpsons figures. Grew up watching The Simpsons, been a fan of The Simpsons, just never really went down the rabbit hole. So I figured if we're getting a new line, now's a good time to jump in. So let's take a look. First up, we're going to take a look at Groundskeeper Willie. So let's see the box here. You can see the image of him on the side there. You've got a larger image on the back. Here's what is in this wave. So the figures that we'll be looking at today, you've got some of the cartoon art on the box as well. Let's get him out of the box. Fresh out of the box, we get a good look at Groundskeeper Willie here. What I like about this line, and I'm one figure in here, right? So here we go. It looks like fresh off the screen, right? This is exactly a Simpsons figure. It looks pretty damn good, albeit a fairly low-cost figure, right? These aren't breaking the bank. They're going to be fairly limited in what they offer articulation-wise, but as one who collects a lot of the Mario figures from Jakks, like, you kind of already have an idea of what you're getting into, and you know, I feel like I'm going full force with this Simpsons thing, so I am liking the aesthetic. Looks good. Let's take a closer look. We get some accessories. We get the bagpipes here, which just kind of sit over the shoulder, and then you get the shovel as well. So nice little touch. As I mentioned, I mean, we're coming right off the screen here, right? It looks like you jumped out of the episode into the hands here. So really great aesthetically. Articulation wise, I mean, you're going to get just a little bit of rotation from the head. You're not getting any upward or downward motion. Mouth is static and stays open. Same with the eyes there. Arms will move all the way around. They go up to about there. You do get a cut in the upper bicep area. You do have your elbow joint, which is just a single sort of ball joint there, but gives you some upward motion. Hands give you a point of rotation as well. You do get a hip swivel. Your leg kicks out to there. Nothing backwards, and then just a little bit out to the side. Nothing at the upper thigh area, but you do have your ball at the knee there, which gives you your bend as such. And then you get a little bit of rotation at your ankle down here. So like I said, you're not going to, go crazy with the articulation, but something like this, I think it serves the purpose. Next up, we'll take a look at Otto. So same situation, same box design. I do like these boxes, by the way. You get the image of Otto on the side, the expanded figure there, the wave at the bottom. I like that they chose a slightly larger window box. I didn't mention that with Groundskeeper Willie, but we're going to, mention some things as we go through these. But let's get Otto out of the box. Fresh out of the box. Again, great representation of the figure. Still limited with what you're getting accessory-wise, right? We do get the guitar. You get the Walkman. So I guess aside from giving him a full bus, I don't know what else I really need from Otto here. This was actually the figure I was most looking forward to getting. Just like Otto, always, just a fun character. Here is a look at your guitar piece. So simple, but, it's a guitar. You know that. Moving in closer, we can get a good look here. Still a very nice representation. Articulation still going to be limited. You just get the neck rotation there. Hair does stop you on each side. You can force it a little bit, but that's as far as I'm going to go with it. The headphones are molded on, so they will stay put. This is not a very flimsy wire, so I don't think you really need to worry too much about that. Arms will go up to about there before the hair gets in the way, but they go out, which will allow you for additional rotation. You do have an upper bicep cut at that area, and then your ball at the elbow. And again, you have a hinge at the wrist, so a little extra movement there. Waist swivel, leg kicks up to there, not back at all, and then out to there. You do get a cut there, which gives you a little bit of thigh rotation. And then you do have your ball at the knee to give you that bend. And there is your ankle there. Again, fairly limited, but these are going to be fairly static on my shelf. He can hold the guitar. You'll find yourself having a little bit of trouble to get the arm into like a playing position without the guitar dropping out, but he can at least hold it, and once you kind of maneuver it a bit, you'll be able to get it to a position that you like. Now we've got the big man himself, Homer, here. I'm curious as like how quickly they're gonna get the family knocked out, right? With Super 7, we never got a chance at the full family. So I would think that Wave 2, you'll probably get Lisa, Marge, maybe Maggie in there somewhere, or maybe she comes with one of the characters, right? So with Homer, though, box still the same. You've got some donuts in there, a box of donuts and a separate donut piece. So we will get him out of the box and take a look at this. All right, getting into the family, Homer looks good. Part of the reason and delay for this video was it took me a long time to find a Homer and Bart that did not have the most jacked up eyes imaginable, right? Every single time I looked at either of those figures, there'd be a left eye looking, 45 degrees upward. The right eye would be looking like 45 degrees down the other way, not focused on the same target. So it took a little bit to be able to find some. I think they did, do like a second run pretty quickly on these that kind of adjusted the eyes. I don't know if that's factual or not, but it does seem that way because a lot of the initial ones that were coming out, everybody I talked to in the groups that I'm in said the same thing, right? Jacked up eyes. And then a couple weeks after that, we all started to find some better looking figures. So let's take a closer look at Homer here. So you do get this donut that has a nice bite taken out of it. A good detail, especially when you show the case of donuts that you get as well with Homer here, right? So these are all in place. I thought maybe you'd be able to remove them, but no, they are firmly in place in that box, and that will open and shut, so it does give you some displayable options there. Taking a closer look at Homer here, you can see even these eyes aren't perfect, but again, this was the best I could come up with. I don't know. It's a giant white eye with a tiny black pupil. So I guess it's pretty easy to mess up, right? So I can imagine that being the case as to why a lot of that first run was pretty bad. But I don't feel like this one's that bad. It came out pretty good, and that's why I ended up grabbing it, and I was happy to find a good-looking one. Head will rotate all the way around. Arms move all the way around as well. They will go up and out to there. You do get that cut up in the upper bicep area, your joint at the elbow, and then your hinge at the wrist. Waist swivel, leg kicks up and out, and then back a little bit. You get probably the most backward motion on this Homer figure out of all of them thus far. Nothing out to the side though, and then your knee joint there, ankle swivel down at the bottom. He is able to hold both the donut and the box of donuts. Finally, we'll take a look at Bart Simpson himself. Aside from Otto, this was the obvious pickup for me. What I am looking forward to finally getting my hands on is that Bart man. St. James, friend of the channel, did hook me up with that figure. I've just got to go and pick it up from the post office is all. But that, aside from just a regular Bart, was the most anticipated figure out of all of this. But I definitely wanted to get my hands on a Bart Simpson figure, so let's get him out of the box. So Bart does come equipped with his skateboard. They continue to be limited with their accessories, and for the price point, I think it's perfectly fair. This is not a set of figures that's going to break the bank. Pretty reasonably priced, if I might add, at least from my perspective. So I think you get about what you need from these. Not going to be super articulate, not going to have a ton of accessories, but still very nice looking figures. The skateboard comes out with pretty decent detail. Wheels do move, so you do get that going for you. Out of all the figures that were initially available, I felt like Bart's eyes always came out the worst, but I found a good one, so I like how this looks. It's Bart Simpson, man. I mean, like I said, off the TV screen and into your phone screen, I guess, but into my hands here. Spikes on the top of the hair look great. I mean, everything just it's so good. I like this line, regardless of what it has to offer. But all right, head twist, you get it all the way around. Arms move all the way around. You do get a cut at the upper bicep there. You've got the joint at the elbow. You've got the hinge at the wrist. Waist swivel, leg kicks up to there, back to there. He might be beating Homer. Out to there. In there, yeah. You do get a little thigh cut in there, and then you do have your joint at the knee. One thing is, yeah, you got to like really twist it around to where you find the bend, but once you get it there, then just don't move it. And then you do have your ankle down there. For the size comparisons, I'm only going to use Bart and Homer just as your reference point, but here's a 2.5 inch Jakks Pacific Mario. You can see these are in the larger scale here. Here they are backed up against a 4-inch scale Mario. You can see closer in line with the scale of these Simpson figures. So just to give you a real point of reference, Mario is roughly the same height as Bart in this scale. Here they are backed up against a Funko Pop. So if you don't collect Jakks Pacific figures, you have no idea what scale they are. Everybody kind of has an idea of where Funko fills in, even if you don't collect them, because you see them everywhere. So that'll give you a rough estimate. Kind of in the same area. And finally, here they are backed up against Commander Steve Rogers in 6-inch scale 112. Obviously going to be shorter as they are in a 4-inch scale, but that gives you another point of reference for your height here. All right, folks, well, there you have it. There's your wave 1 of the Jakks Pacific Simpsons figures. They've started to come out. They've been out for, probably over a month, maybe 2 months now. As I said, it took me a while to get this together because I was really trying to track down Bart and Homer with decent eyes. There were a lot of issues with those, so if you got that first run and you noticed those eyes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that for you. That's just why I held on. They're decent figures, not a whole lot going on as far as articulation or accessories, but I do think they hit the mark. These are exactly what I would want to represent the Simpsons in my collection. I don't want to take up a ton of space for the Simpsons. I love the Simpsons, but I've got a lot of other collections going on, so to not have to give up too much space, this is the right point for me. Price is good on these. You're not breaking the bank. They're fairly decent to come by for the price, at least where I am, so I got no problems with that. Some of them have been a little bit harder to find. These have obviously been popular. I don't know what the production numbers look like on these figures, but they come and they go almost right away. I have not seen these hang out on shelves, so I think they're doing something right. So I'm looking forward to, wave 2 and on, and to see where we go. Love to hear what you think about these figures, if you're collecting, if you're not, if you had the eye issues. If you've actually been going after like the store exclusives, so Bartman was the only one that I was really worried about, but it's cool that they have like that radioactive man and the green hawkish Homer and the Montgomery Burns, but like Count Dracula Burns. So cool stuff. I like where we're going with this. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. That's my 2 cents, folks. I appreciate you checking out the video and staying this long if you have. Of course, if this is your first time here, I really appreciate you dropping by. But for those of you who are always stopping by, I definitely appreciate that. Of course, you can always find me on any of these socials down here. Most importantly, though, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe below. And until next time, Take it easy.